Hello, this is Alex Calvo Garcia. You're listening to the Iron Hour podcast.
Hello, it's Barry here, and welcome to the latest episode of the ANO podcast. Again, slightly different format because of the two games in the week. We've got an opening segment with myself and Max Bell, and then we'll have our Spy in the Camp, which will finish the podcast off. And I've already recorded that Spy in the Camp, and I'm going to give you a warning now. It's very funny, very enjoyable one. About 20, 25 minutes of, a really good insight actually from Wes Thompson, Kidderminster Harriers fan and radio broadcaster as well. So let's kick off then, Max. I should just say a huge thank you, of course, to our sponsors, Best Wines Wholesale. Nearly forgot, didn't, just got it in the nick of time. No one will ever notice there, Max. 2-0. 2-0 on Saturday, away against Farsley. The reason I say that is because, of course, the game was played at Buxton. And pre-season friendly vibes.
Yeah, to a certain extent, I think. Obviously, in a strange sort of way, no hostility. Because obviously Farsley know what their situation is, and they've been very, very good to us. I hope that no matter what league either of us are in at any point, I hope we get to go to Farsley proper for a pre-season friendly. Actually, as you say, it finished 2-0. Could have and probably should have finished 4 or 5. Mark Beck in particular had a really gilt-edged chance to make it even more comfortable for the Iron, but I don't think there was any point in the 90 minutes where Scunthorpe fans thought we're not winning this game. So look, we got out of it what we needed to. We got 3 points. Some players got a little bit of game time. Some players maybe got a little bit of rest. Exactly what we wanted from the afternoon.
Well, things to talk about. I'll kick off with Luke Williams getting some decent game time. Hard to know kind of how much he'll be involved between now and the end of the season. Did that mean anything to you? Was you happy to see him get on the pitch?
Yeah, I was happy to see him start. Was happy to see him get on the pitch. As you say, some game time for him. Look, he's not been in Butler's starting 11, so if he's going to be getting game time between now and the end of the season, you would feel like it's either a substitution, either to rotate or to throw everything at the kitchen sink to try and get a 3 points or a point out of the game, or heaven forbid if there's an injury. But that's the time of the season when those scenarios really matter, when it really matters if you can try and make an attacking sub to nick a point or nick a win out of the game. When it really matters if you pick up an injury, have you got a quality option on the bench? So look, we're playing. We've just played Saturday and now we're playing Tuesday, and then we'll be Saturday again. 2 very, very big games coming up. Wouldn't surprise me if he featured in either of them at some point. But look, what matters is the results and what we can get out of them starting away at Kiddie on Tuesday.
A few gilt-edged chances went down on Saturday. It has to be said. We can't really talk about the game without talking about that. Mark Beck missed one. Carlton missed one. I know a couple of players did, but disappointing really, because it would have been great to see Mark Beck and Carlton get those extra confidence goals.
It would have been, but look, if they're going to miss a chance on Saturday or on Tuesday, it was the right game for them to miss a chance in. So I don't think goal difference should come into it. Theoretically, our goal difference is already the strongest in the league. We're now in a really great position whereby we can put ourselves 5 points clear at the top of the table if we win on Tuesday. So look, I wasn't in a situation where I was demanding that we go and stick 7 or 8 past Farsley. We won, it was quite comfortable, but it didn't need to be more than that. It's not like, when we went away to Bristol Rovers and they needed to win by X amount of goals. Had we needed to, I would have been disappointed with the missed chances, as you've mentioned there. But
Can I just chuck one out there right now? I know you were
go on.
there, but I was on the phone to Marco earlier, and I said,
God, what have you done wrong? What did you do to deserve that?
I said, look, I might be way off here, but the fact that Brackley go to Farsley, Brackley play Farsley, that last game of the season, is there a world, right, in which we're level on points, they need a massive goal swing, and they get that goal swing, and all the Northampton fans come out of the woodwork and start saying it's revenge for Bristol Rovers?
So I'm gonna say no because I'm looking at the table now.
Have I got it wrong? Tell me I've
No.
got it wrong.
Well, our goal difference is currently 16 better than Brackley's. So, that's a lot to close the gap in 7 games. The only side really whose goal difference is close to ours is actually Kiddie.
Yeah.
Ours is plus 37, Chester plus 24, Bratley plus 21, Kidderminster plus 34. I suppose if we lost 2-0, it's not impossible. Then their goal difference would be the best. But I'd be disappointed if that ended up being a factor, really, given that table and the points difference and the GD difference.
Kidderminster, of course, joint top goal scorers in the league. Themselves and Buxton are the only teams to have scored more goals than us. I think they've got, off the top of my head, I think they've got 65, both of them, and we've got 63. I believe that's the case. Max will obviously fact check me.
Max is currently Googling as we speak, so talk amongst yourselves.
Being the politician is, will obviously fact check me, but
yes, and then if you're right, I just won't mention it. But if you're wrong, I will jump in. I'm sure you're not, Barry. I'm sure you're not.
I do my research. Don't worry about it.
And some people ask us if this podcast is scripted.
Who could listen to this and say, do you know what, those lads have really got it together? Nobody.
I never said that. I never said that. I just said scripted.
Right. I think we've flogged the Farsley game as much as we can. I guess the less said about it, the better, really. It wasn't one for the ages. Let's move on then to looking into the quite near future. The 2 games, really. We, of course, will talk about the Chester game a bit more once we've had the Kidderminster game, but it's a big week for the Iron. It feels like a big week. I don't know if I'm pessimistic, Max, but if I'm being honest, this is just me talking here, gun to my head, I would probably take 2 points from the next 2 games. Discuss.
Right, so before we discuss, let's do our fact checking. How many goals did you say Kiddie and Buxton had scored?
65.
Give the man a biscuit. And how many did you think we had?
63.
Oh, well done. 3 out of 3. Excellent. Very good. So you're saying you take 2 points.
I would, and can I explain my working out there? So, under normal circumstances, I accept you've got to go to win every game, and 6 points would be the target. The reason is because Kidderminster have that game in hand on us. If they beat us, they would be just 5 points behind us. Again, I'm off the top of my head here, and they would have that game in hand. So potentially,
that is right.
Yeah, so that would then close the gap to 2 if they won that. Equally, if we lost to Chester, that would put them right back in it. And I know it's negative, but if we get a point from each game, it just keeps the distance as it is. We're then only really Brackley to worry about. Yeah, they'd have the game in hand. That's the downside. And if they won that, they'd be level on points with us. But as we've talked about, it'd still be in our hands, really, because of the goal difference. I don't know. Am I overthinking it, Max?
Yeah, I think you are perhaps overthinking it a little bit. It depends on the situation, doesn't it? I think back to the Kidderminster home game. If we play like that on Tuesday, we'll beat them. Look, it will be more difficult away. Kidderminster will be up for it. Hopefully, there'll be a good atmosphere, and particularly if they start well. I would probably be wanting, because there's more than one side still theoretically in the hunt. I'd rather take 3 points than 2. I do appreciate where you're coming from, and look, arguably Tuesday is our most difficult game on paper left this season because we're having to go away from home. Would I take a point now? No, but I probably wouldn't be devastated with it if it got to full time, especially depending on the situation.
That's interesting there. So if I offered you 2 scenarios, right? I said to you, right, Max Bell, I give you a guaranteed point against Kidderminster on Tuesday night, and give you that now, you can take that, or you can gamble it all.
It's like bullseye, and here's what you could have won.
You can gamble it all. You got a guaranteed point, or you can gamble it all on the toss of a coin, and there's a potential to win the game or potential to lose the game. what would you do? Would you take your chances?
I've had a lovely day, Jim. I've had a lovely day. I've had a lovely day. I've got the bendy bullies.
Can I just say, we're really kind of reaching out to our younger audience, our younger demographic here.
Look, all I'm saying is if the younger audience haven't ended up like scrolling challenge at 11 p.m., they're missing out. Right. I mean, you've specifically said they're 50-50, haven't you? If it was 50-50 win or lose, yeah, I probably would take a draw under that scenario as you've described it because we're away from home. However, I do think, particularly given our recent form, I think we're more likely to win on Tuesday than we are to lose. So, I particularly if we played all right, Kiddy played all right, I would be happy with a draw. But there's a real big prize on offer here now. It really is. They've got.
I understand that, and I agree.
Like I think on the last pod, Gareth was talking about how Brackley were a machine, and then they've taken 1 point from the last two games. We're in a situation now where, honestly, I think if we win our next two, we're just about there. Like we really are there.
I agree. Look, I'm going to contradict myself here, but the other side of the coin, and it is a belief I actually subscribe to, so it's weird that I'm being a little bit pessimistic here, but we are in a title charge here. We're in a promotion battle. We're in a challenge for the title, and the opportunity that presents itself now with us already being top of the league will possibly never be as good. Look at next season, the fact that Macclesfield are coming up. This division will be harder. We have one almighty opportunity here. We're in a title challenge.
Actually, in terms of the number of points that is going to be needed,
the other factor,
is going to be needed to win the league this year. It will certainly be less than last year. Nobody's coming second with 95 points. Tamworth got 96 last year and could have very easily gotten more. And actually, and also in terms of the division above, if you look at what is now the relegation race out of the National League, even Boston looked doomed at one point of, really pulled it out of the bag. Fylde are in the mix. They've had a lot of money. If one or two of those sides get out of it, there's going to have to be movement in terms of the most northern side in the National League South. I've got some bad news for you fellas, because every other side in the bottom 9 in that league is further south than London, really. It's going to be a tough league, and Brackley have proved that if you don't get out of this division, the London Supporters Club success motto, there's always next season, isn't really true. You can fuck it up next season as well, lads.
And this is the chance, isn't it, Max?
And you can bugger it up the season after that. Yeah, particularly having got themselves,
or even for 8 consecutive seasons in Brackley's case.
Yeah, exactly. You're always in a position, as you say, where Macclesfield will be coming up with a lot of cash to spend, and actually we've now, because there is no Tamworth this season, we're in a position now that we really weren't in at any point last season, let alone with 8 games to go. You're thinking,
we're in the driving seat.
Yeah, if we win this next 2, look, Brackley might have other ideas, but they're 4 points adrift. It's still 2 swings there, and actually we are in a position whereby we've mentioned that final day. If it goes down to that, obviously we're away at Hereford, Chester away at Kings Lynn, two very tough games against sides who, as things stand, would both, Hereford are 8th and Kings Lynn are 9th, so they'd both be going into the final day needing to win to get into the playoffs, and that is not a side I'd be wanting to play. I'd be wanting to play a side who've,
Farsley.
I'd be wanting to play a side who've, Wigan Athletic, who've won the league and have been on the piss all week.
Oh, mate, it's still sore. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. I get that. Or, like you say, like Farsley, who, unfortunately have won once at home all season. They're actually, to be honest, they
Can I just say for the listeners there, who maybe didn't catch that, Max did the inverted commas on the one rather than the at home.
No, it was at home. Bugger off.
Okay.
I'm not having that. But actually, if you look at Farsley have won 6 games away from home this season, and I know they were all at the start of this. They were near the start of the season.
Yeah, they had a great start.
But that is, surely they were in the playoffs. Have only won 6 away games this season. Farsley's genuine proper away record this season is pretty respectable, and he's not going to be the reason why they're going to go down. Look, we'll see. I'm not saying we will get 6 points, but heaven forbid if by hook or by crook we can leave these games with 6 points. I mean, it would be a proper punch in the balls, bottle job effort for them to chuck it away from there.
I massively agree. Clearly, you're going to have to target the win, and you should. I guess my thinking is, again, maybe it speaks to pragmatism, maybe it speaks to pessimism, I don't know. But my thinking is, if we lost on Tuesday night, it's not season, as Butler said this explicitly, it's not season defining, it's not season ending. Whereas Kidderminster lose, it's probably terminal to their title aspirations. They lost to us, I think they could pretty much count themselves out of winning the automatic.
I would go along with that, but also if I was a Kidderminster fan, I'd be thinking, well,
they've done it the hard way before.
They have. And also Tuesday night is, they were already 8 points adrift. Albeit the game in hand. I do get that. If I'm a Kidderminster fan, I'm probably thinking that even a draw's not enough. You've got to, if you want to try and somehow claw your way back to the top, you've got to find the win. But look, it goes to show, we've had the top 5, so us, Chester, Bratley, Kiddie and Curzon have all been top. All 5 of us have been top at different points this season. Looked like it was going to be us, and then it wasn't. So let's just hope that this isn't our equivalent of that. The second time we'd have done that this season. And let's hope that after Tuesday we're thinking that was a giant step, as it were.
What I would say though is when we went top on Tuesday night against Alfreton, that was the first time we'd been top since New Year's Day.
Yeah, so it's crazy when you think about it.
We went into the New Year top with us having played the day before. So from New Year's Day onward, we've not been top, and we've only now taken that spot. And it's not a case of clinging on, but it's like we could have timed this to perfection here.
It's the right time to do it, and certainly with I think back to Marine.
Max, I'm getting giddy, mate. I'm getting really giddy.
When I think back to Marine, which really has been the turning point for both us and Marine, ironically, with 11 minutes to go, when we're 1-0 down and with the best women in the world, we're playing crap. If you'd have turned around to both sets of supporters at that point and say, well, come mid-March, the home side are going to be 11 points clear of relegation, and the away side, they're going to go 1 defeat in 3 months. All right, it's the bottom of the table, rush all, but we'll ignore that. I wouldn't have believed it. Wouldn't have believed it. Butler would have been under massive pressure that night if they'd lost, or even if they'd drawn, if we're being honest.
No, you're not convinced he would have got the bullet, and I'm probably not either, but there were... There'd
have been calls for it on the social media. I'm not convinced he would have got the bullet, and I was saying that on the terrace with my dad and my brother whilst we were losing. I'm not convinced he would have, but it would have been a question had he been under pressure. Look, since then, particularly when we went to Leamington, which was really the start of we're going to play forward and back now. It's looked a lot better. It has looked a lot better, and in many ways, consistently, the fans who spent a good solid 2 months saying we need to go to forward and back. I'd just like to say, supporters, you were right. You were right. Those people have been proven right by the form since that turning point. Might not be the only factor, but it's clear that tactically it's been a significant factor. So I expect us to keep that going. Kidderminster at home was one of our best performances so far this season. If we play like that, we'll get 3 points. whether or not we can quite match that standard, especially without Danny Whitehall, it's a big if, and it'll be a tough day. I'm sure Kiddy will play well. Look, we'll see. I know we're both going, aren't we?
We are indeed. Tell you what, we'll just before we move on to the spy in the camp, let's finish this segment off with the score prediction. Max, how do you see this one going on Tuesday night?
1-1.
Okay, I'm going 0-0. That's how I see it going. But
you've just
James,
said that Kiddy are the top scorers in the league, and that
we've got the tightest defence, so something's got to give. And I'm saying it's their goal scores. Their goal score, that'll be the one that gives. Also, they are coming off the back of a 5-0 win, so I'm hoping they've played all the cards. Usually, when you score 5 or 6, it's followed by a game without a goal. So I'm hoping that might be the case. But I will just say, since we've been talking, Max, I'm going to upgrade it actually from a 0-0 to a 1-0 Scuddy. You've convinced me that it's on.
I've convinced you that it's on, despite the fact I then said 1-0.
Yeah, you've taken me. You've taken the horse to water, and then decided to not drink yourself.
I've moved the mountain to Mohammed.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, look, we'll see, and it will be genuinely interesting to see if, with 15 minutes to go, and it is 0-0 or 1-0.
What do you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you stick? Do you twist? Which side is pushing it? It would probably make more sense for Kidderminster to really try and twist, especially with being at home. But football can be a funny mistress sometimes, and I'm sure Tuesday's game will have a couple of twists and turns in it.
I'm sure it will. Right, let's have our usual spy in the camp. I'm joined this week by Kidderminster Harriers fan, Wesley Thompson, also radio presenter extraordinaire, it has to be said. Wes, how are you doing?
Hey, listen, I've been better. I've got COVID, so I can't make the game tomorrow, but I was not going to let you down tonight. Because,
what a guy.
Well, they talk about that, and it's fine. But yeah, as long as they carry me down the street, I don't mind that at all. That's fine.
From what I can gather as well, there was a list. There was a long queue of Kidderminster fans queuing up to come on this.
Yeah.
Well, I saw a little bit of argy-bargy on the fans page. That's all I can say.
Yeah, there was. It was funny though. It was funny. Yeah, but I don't want to talk about it too much because there's no point. I'm here now, so we're here, and we're going to enjoy it. 20 minutes or something, or until I fall asleep because of COVID. So we'll see.
Unfortunately, this podcast does have that effect on people. They often do fall asleep. So
I get it.
Let's see how we get on.
Yes.
Right, lots to talk about. This is the first of two massive games for Scunthorpe United this week. We kick off with the Tuesday night fixture away at Kidderminster Harriers, and it's a tough game. It's first versus fourth as we go into this one.
Yeah.
Kidderminster coming off the back of a 5-0 victory away at South Shields on Saturday.
Yep, absolutely smashed them. Hemo got a hat trick. Could have scored 2 hat tricks, to be honest with you. But yeah, he got a hat trick, and then we had a draw against Leamington before that, and then before that we beat Farsley 6-0. Joe, when you beat Farsley 2-0 away, yeah, we beat them 6-0. It's just easier, just smash them.
Yeah, but to be fair, we put 6 past them at home when they had a decent team.
Oh, okay. All right. Calm down.
Just chuck that one out there. Deal with that
absolutely.
one.
Yeah, no, I will. So I was just listening to your manager, Andy Butler, and do you know what he said a couple of times? He said once, to
be brutally honest.
Yeah.
He says that every interview, to be brutally honest.
No, he said it's only a game.
Yeah, it's true, mate. It's only a game.
Yeah, but that's not what you want to hear. That's when you're going to try and win the league, you don't want to hear him going, it's only a game. It's only a game. It's not only a game, pal. It's not only a game at all.
I'm not going to go out to bat for it. Well, I will a little bit. I guess what he's saying there is, for Kidderminster, it probably feels like a must win. For us, it feels more like I want to say a free hit, but 3 points on Tuesday night would be enormous. There's no getting away from that. But it wouldn't be season defining if we lost.
No, but then we're going to go and beat Brackley away, and beat Needham Market on Saturday, which I should be going to, but we'll see. So yeah, we're right back up there with you, pal. So you got to think about these things. You got to think about them. So you want to talk about Harriers? Talk to me. Yeah,
right. You touched earlier about, I think you called him Hemo. Ashley Hemmings getting his hat trick on Saturday.
Yeah.
Now, from my stats, that's 7 in the last 4 games. which makes it 22 for the season. How important has he been?
So it's funny because at the beginning of the season, we're all like, we need a striker. We've got to sign a striker. No one can score goals. And Hemo was like, I'm just going to do my thing. And now he's got 25 in all competitions. And it's like, that shut a few people up, you know. But the thing about Hemo is he can score an awful lot more, but he misses a lot. As many chances he scores, he misses a few as well, which is the frustrating thing. But they're at a level, aren't they? They're at this level because of a reason. So yeah, if he scored everything, he'd be in the Premier League. So yeah, it's one of those things. But yeah, we love Hemo. We love so Hemo will be up front with Amari, Amari Morgan Smith. This is his second or third time at Harriers now, and he's the captain because he's just an absolute brute of a man, and he just gets involved with everything. In fact, the story of our season. I'll tell you about this. The story of our season has been about injuries because we won the first 4 games in August. And then Amari gets injured, gets knocked out cold, and he's out for like 8 weeks. And then we just go all to pot. But then that happens again. Luke Summerfield, who's a great midfielder, he came along. He's brilliant, but he wore really small shin pads. And then someone broke his leg. I don't think it's because he had small.
Who knew?
Yeah. Well, I knew. Unfortunately, Luke didn't. So yeah, it's a story of it's. We've done very well considering how many injuries we've had. We were loaning players. This is a brilliant one. We loaned George Cooper from Mansfield, and he lasted 10 minutes. Then he was injured, and we had to send him back. So yeah, sorry.
Just on the phone there to Mansfield going,
yeah.
You know that player you sent us? He's in
Yeah.
a bad way. Any more? Have you got any more?
Yeah. Surely there's more. Surely there's more where that came from. He was actually really good as well. George Cooper was his name, hanging with Mr. Cooper, if you remember that program.
What are 10 minutes?
Just they talk about it to this day. There's 10 minutes. He was really good, and then he just went off injured. I think he injured himself. I think he injured himself that game, which is a class thing to do. Well done, my friend. But yeah. So that was the way that was really. But yeah, it's been a season of injuries. But now, we've got 2 new signings. Carl Morrison, who signed again for us. He was in the team that got promoted by the playoffs 2 seasons ago. And he's come back, and he's amazing. And David Worrell, don't know if you heard of David Worrell. He's from the leagues. He played for Southend. He played for other teams, Port Vale, I think, as well.
Oh, yeah, I know Dave.
You know Dave? Good old Dave, yeah. Love Dave. Dave's amazing. He's amazing. So I worry for you guys, actually, tomorrow night, because we are going to play with the wing-backs. And, yeah. And Reece Devine is amazing as well. So, basically, the whole team's amazing. So, but the thing is, I'm the most positive Harriers fan there is. And everyone's like, shut up, Wes.
Yeah,
they're like, shut up, Wes. You know what you're talking about. Yeah, well, we'll see tomorrow night. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but we'll see. We'll see. So, yeah.
You touched on the successful playoff campaign of 2 years ago. Now, for Scunthorpe fans who maybe don't know this, you did this the hard way, finishing 6th that season, winning 3 consecutive away games. You beat Alfreton 1-0 in the quarterfinal, Kings Lynn away 4-1 in the semi-final.
Smashed them,
and beat Brackley away 2-0 in the final. What was that like? Because I know it was here. Hemo again got 2 goals in that final.
In the final, yeah. It was amazing. It was funny because we were 13th in the league. I think that was in March as well. And I said, if we win the next one, we're going to go and we're just going to fly. And that's exactly what we did. But the problem was there was a bad egg in the side, I think. And we got rid of the bad egg and then suddenly became amazing. And then we had a player called Joe Leasley, who I loved. I don't know if you ever come across Joe Leasley, but he was amazing in midfield.
Yes.
And Shane Byrne as well. Shane Byrne also. Joe and Shane in midfield. They're like Bezzy mates, and they were fantastic in midfield. And they were the reason Joe came back from another injury, and then we just flew, and that was it. And that was the reason why.
Joe Leasley, when he left you in March, guess where he turned up? Last March, guess where he turned up?
Right, okay. So I know it was a Northern team. I know he's at Worksop now, which is random and a bit terrible. Did he go to Darlington?
He turned up at Scunthorpe United, mate.
Did he? What was he doing there?
We needed a man.
Needed bodies, yeah?
Yeah, we needed bodies. We signed him
Yeah.
on the window shuts about, was it 4 or 5 weeks before the end of the season? We signed him on the day before it shut, just to give us a bit of cover. I think he was at fullback. It was the idea. I think, does he play fullback or something? Yeah.
No,
he never played.
Never played midfield. He was a defensive midfield maestro who didn't score many goals, but when he had a shot, that was a goal. That was it, really. That was it.
So he turned up for us, never got on the pitch, I don't think.
terrible, because he got injured, and Shane got the same injury in the same season. It was ridiculous. Injuries, man. They'll probably get someone injured tomorrow night. To be fair, now I'm talking about this, but yeah, Joe Leasley was my favourite player, absolutely, and he was the reason we got promoted that season. So
Yeah, so he went to Darlington after us. So
yeah,
that's the way it goes.
yeah, it is. Yeah, and once you've been there, yeah. So yeah. So Scunthorpe, how big's your budget? It's the biggest budget in the league, isn't it?
That's what they tell us. That is what they tell us.
So it is then. So it totally is.
I imagine it probably is, yeah.
Yeah. How many did you get a game at home?
Just short of 4,000 is the average this season.
Brilliant. And how many did you take away?
Yeah, Alfreton on Tuesday night, we took, I think, just over 600, maybe just short of 600, which I've got to be honest, it's just over an hour away. So it was probably about par for what I expected. Again,
Yeah,
we took 500. We took 500 to Buxton for the Farsley game, obviously because they're playing at Buxton at the
absolutely.
moment, on Saturday. And I would expect we'll probably take 300 minimum on Tuesday night. So we travel quite well, but possibly not as well as other teams do. I know Chester do travel quite well, but
Yeah.
for us, our home is a fortress, I would say more about. I guess last season our away attendances were better when it was like the what's the word?
League.
No, the novelty of being
The
in this
novelty.
division. The
Yeah,
novelty
yeah,
of being
yeah.
in this division last season.
Yeah.
I think we took
Yeah.
over 1,000 to. I think we took. Well, we definitely took 1,200 to Farsley, and I think we took almost
Yeah.
1,000 to Tamworth on the opening game of last season. But once
Nice.
that novelty wears off, you're back to, similar to what we're getting in the
Hardcore.
Football League, really. Yeah.
It's a hardcore lot. Because we do something called guess the attendance, because people have mentioned that I run a Harriers.
What's that then? What's that? What do
I mean,
you do in that game?
You probably won't believe this, but you win a mug at the end of the season if you guess the attendance, if you're top of the leaderboard.
Right.
So
That does
tomorrow,
make sense. Yeah.
yeah, I know. Tomorrow, I've gone in for 2,817. So I actually thought you'd take between 600 and 800.
No
Something like that.
chance. No
Not a
chance.
chance. No.
I'll be astounded if we take that to Kidderminster on a Tuesday night.
A shame. You've never been to Agbor, have you?
I haven't. No. Sadly.
Bloody lovely stuff. It's great.
Is it?
Get a cottage pie. They're not as good as they used to be, but the cottage pies are great if you fancy a bit of a meal at the football randomly.
Cottage pie.
Have a cottage pie, yeah, absolutely. And Agbra's fantastic. We've got the East Stand, which was built I say about 15 years ago or something, and it's massive. And will your fans sit or will they stand? Well, I suppose it depends on
predominantly standing. Yeah.
Okay, because if you
you'll have your older ones, your geriatrics and such. They'll want a seat, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah. Sometimes if there's not many there, like maybe I don't know, South Shields. If you don't get many in, they'll just whack them all in the seating and be like, "No, get in there now. You come this way, pay an extra £1 or whatever, and just get in there and just enjoy it." So yeah, you'll enjoy the ground. The ground's brilliant. It's fantastic, actually. It's worthy of League 2, pushing League 1 standard. To be honest with you.
Not just the ground though, but the facilities. I mean, I did a little bit of research. I watched Phil Brown on a podcast at the start of the season, and he mentioned the training facilities. He mentioned there being 12 pitches, right? And I didn't believe him. I thought, there's no way. So I did a bit of research. He was telling the truth. Your training facility is mental.
It is. It's amazing. It's called Cozy, and it's fantastic. It's so good. One thing I don't think we've got is like 4G pitch on there. And you'd think because of the teams that are in this league, and there's quite a few like Marine and stuff playing, and Scarborough playing 4G, you'd think we'd have one. But maybe I'm incorrect there, but I don't think so. But yeah, we have the ladies team there as well. The ladies play on there, and the under 18s, under 16s and stuff. Because it's all part of the university. I don't know if Scunthorpe do that the same thing, but it's all part of the college or university, one of the two. So yes, that's what we do, and it's just absolutely amazing. So imagine if you're a player and you don't know who to choose and you don't know where to go, and then Phil Brown comes in and he says, "Aripet, we've got 16. I'm sure it's 16, but you said 14. Is that correct?"
I actually said 12, but listen, I'll go with your superior knowledge.
Okay. Well,
Say
I have seen it.
16. Do 16 in a Geordie accent. I think you'll nail
Sure. We've got 42 pitches on Causey. Oh God.
That'll be the COVID.
That'll be the COVID right there. Hi there. Hi. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty brutal. But yeah, honestly, so the manager before was called Russ Penn, and Russ Penn is a Harriers legend because he played for us twice, I think. Absolute legend. He got us under Russ tutelage. That's what they say. He got us promoted in the playoffs. And he always used to say, beginning of the season, he'd just take any prospective player who might want to sign for us down to Cozy and say, ta-da! And they'd be like, what? So we get quite a few signings from that. So that'd be good. But yeah, it is. Do you not have like
We've got a pitch. No, we've got a pitch. Yeah, we've got a pitch that gets waterlogged in the winter.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the summer too.
Yeah, well, you can never have enough water, it would seem. So
I would agree, which complements our pitch actually quite well because although on screen right now it looks like a carpet, our pitch at the moment resembles a beach actually at the moment.
No,
so we've got the water, we've got the sea and the sand. So it is a proper seaside town now, Scunthorpe. Who knew?
I love it. I know. Do you know what? Actually, it is a little for anyone who likes a factoid. Actually, it would take me an hour and a half to get to Scunthorpe. It takes me 2 hours 15 to get to Harriers.
Okay. Do you have an aeroplane or?
No, I just drive. Where I am in the East Midlands, it's an hour and a half to Scunthorpe. I can't believe it. I was like, what? No, but yeah. So Andy Butler was talking about the 2-0, but we had some big injuries in that game, and that's what really messed us up. That's why we
They still sound like excuses. You got played off the park, Wes. You know you
did. We? Wow. Did we? First half, we didn't. But that's what we always do. That's what we used to do, but we just smash teams out like 6-0 and stuff, so it's just easier. It's easier to do that, really, it would seem.
Did you go to that game? It was a cracking night, that, wasn't it?
Which one? The 2-0?
Yeah, look, I'm not taking the piss now. The Friday night it was great football. It was a good advert for the league, I thought.
Do you know what? I watched it on the telly. I think it was on the Zone or whatever it was, the National League or whatever. Because I was living in Wales, Southwest Wales at the time, so it would have been about a 9-hour drive. So yeah, I didn't bother doing that one.
Yeah, it does sound like a lack of commitment to me. That was
absolutely, and the petrol and no, it's just too many excuses now. I think so. Yeah. So do you think you have spent all of your millions well so far this season?
I think you're being a little bit cheeky now.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know if you know the recent history of the club. So we had a kind of like consecutive mismanagements of the club, which led us to the situation we're in.
Yeah,
everyone. With overspending. So the current ownership are dealing with a lot of the ramifications of the previous contracts. So the squad we've got, there's no two ways about it. It is a very good squad and quite possibly is the best in the division. Now, as you know, Wes, that doesn't always translate to promotion, right? We accept that.
Not at all. Yeah.
I do accept that we've got the biggest wage in the division. I do accept that. And for me, the test will be next season, particularly if we don't go up. Because if those players go, which they will do because we haven't got that money, I don't know if it feels like a last chance saloon. That's probably a bit harsh, but I do fear for us a little bit if we don't go up this season, particularly with Macclesfield coming up and the money they're chucking about.
Do you know what? I don't know if you feel the same way, but it's always at the end of the season, you always get sad because if you're not promoted, which we didn't for 6 seasons in a row, you're going to lose your best players. Your little stars, you're going to lose them. And it's just so sad. And you try and get better ones in, and you can't. Just
we kept on to a lot of them from last season because of the contract situation. They were in contract. Why would they leave Scunthorpe when they're on a fantastic packet?
Exactly.
Whereas that won't be the case at the end of this season. So, there's that, I'm afraid.
I think Andy Butler should be trying to win every game rather than going, it's just a game. Yeah, sure.
What do you think there then? Do you believe him? Like, so there's two things there. He's either being really coy or he's being truthful. Like, what do you think the crack is?
I think he's being truthful there. I think he's seen our team, he's seen our results, and I think he doesn't really want to be in Kidderminster on Tuesday night. Not at all.
Who does? Let's be honest.
Even the people at Kidderminster, they're
I'm
happy there. I
joking.
think.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
assuming so.
joking. Listen. I'm allowed to punch up from Scunthorpe. Can I just say that? Yeah.
Absolutely, of course.
Before all the Kidderminster fans start kicking off saying, "Is he?"
Yeah.
Listen, it was a joke.
Yeah, it was just a joke. Just joking. I think.
Wes and I enjoyed some banter together.
So it is. It's bands, top bands. By the way, Kidderminster Harriers, we have at Agborough, we have the Harriers Arms, which is the only pub in a football stadium in the UK, or used to be. I think it probably still is, to be honest. An actual proper bona fide pub, Harriers Arms. I've had many a great night there, and many a not great night there as well. So,
do they serve Diet Coke?
yes, they do, but they won't serve an away fan. They won't serve an away fan.
I do a really good accent, actually. You'd never know I was from the north. I'm saving it for Tuesday night.
I get that. Tomorrow night, it's all about that accent. It really is.
Yeah.
Is it Phil Brown? You're going to see I'm Phil Brown's cousin. Pep.
What, go even more north?
Yeah, go even more north. That'll confuse them. That'll confuse the guys on the door. They're lovely, the guys on the door, but they'll be like, what? Who is this? Just let him in. I don't know. He said he's Phil Brown. I guess so. That's probably,
They're going, Phil Brown looks really pale.
Yeah, no, that's generally, that's generally the way it is. Amari randomly has just liked a message of a video I put on TikTok.
Behave, Wes. Is
he
that
really
what
has.
you're talking about now?
He really has, yeah. It's just one of those things, isn't it? We're good friends, me and Amari.
Football friend.
He totally is a football friend. Well, he's not a friend for else, is he? Let's be honest.
You said it, brother.
Good luck. Good luck.
Before we
carry on with your questions.
I've got a few more.
Yeah, go on.
Christian Dibble, 19 clean sheets this season. How's he been between the sticks?
Dibs is amazing. Dibs is so good.
Dibs. My mate Dibs is ace.
Yeah, my mate Dibs. You know, the funny thing I always do when I get to the ground and I see him warming up, I go, Dibs. He goes, what? I said, it's all right, mate, you're playing today. I've had a chat with Phil every time. And he just laughs every single time. He must think, what a knobhead he is. But can I say that? I just said it. But yeah, Dibs is great. He from Wrexham. We got him from Wrexham. I don't know if you know that.
I do. Yeah. Listen. He played in the National League playoff final when Grimsby, obviously our rivals, beat Wrexham 5-4. They let 5 in, mate. But then, I'm presuming he played in the... I know this. He then played in the final for you guys the season later.
Yeah.
National League North. See, I'll do my research, Wes. Don't worry about me, mate.
Can I just say congratulations? That's amazing. I'm happy with that. We didn't run out of anything to say, and we're still going. Dibble is a great player, great goalie. He's massive, and he likes. If winning 1-0, he will collect that ball and just go to the floor and just be like, "Oh, I'm just going to have a little snooze." Brilliant.
As like when that's your keeper, you love it, don't you? Other keepers, horrendous.
No, it's the worst thing in the world. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I did shout at, because where I sit in the main stand, which is right where the players come out, there was their right back taking forever. So I just shouted at him, because you can shout at them and they can hear what you're saying. It's brilliant. And I shouted, anytime today, Junior. And he was just laughing his head off. It was the funniest thing ever. I was like, all right, mate, calm down.
Does your mate Dibs, does he take it well? Because Scunny fans are notorious for educating keepers actually about women in their lives, you know, their mothers, their girlfriends, their wives. They often keepers find things. Yeah.
No, it's fine. I understand that. He won't give a flying whatever. So he's like, he's a proper pro, Dibble. Proper pro. Turns up with a box of pasta. Oh, there you go. Turns up with a box of pasta. Yes. Oh, there you go.
Is that the hallmark of professionalism? Pasta
is,
and not. Yeah.
If you bring in your own pasta, you are making it, my friend. You're making it. And of course, his dad's Andy Dibble. That Phil loves Andy Dibble. Let me tell you, he loves him. Also,
is that the Welsh accent coming back? How long was you in Wales for?
Oh, it was ages, man. It was ages. It was kind of a Phil Brown hybrid, that one, I think. It was fine. So I thought I was going to say now. You kind of interrupted my
Andy Dibble. Good old Dibs.
Andy senior. Dibble. Yeah. But Phil likes him because I've had Phil. So I've had Phil on my my podcast thing. It's called The Final Word. So people get to have a final word at the very end of it. And he always says something amazing. Everyone starts crying because it's so good and stuff. But if you mention the words JJ Okocha to him, you can't shoot him up then. He just talks about JJ Okocha forever and a day.
Who am I saying that to?
Phil Brown. If you if you ever get a chance to, make some, have a chat with him, it's fine. That's what you do.
Well, I'll just chuck it out there. I'll just say JJ Kocher says you're a shit manager or something. I don't know. Just chuck that one out there.
Yeah, just throw that out. He'll go, I know what you're lying. Yes, I know what you're lying. That's what I'll say. He's from South Shields as well, Phil.
Yeah.
So when we smashed him 5-0, he must have been quite happy with that, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm sure. Right, I'm going to wrap it up. We've gone over the 20-minute threshold, but
who cares? I got COVID. I ain't going nowhere.
Listen, Wes, I enjoyed that. That was good.
It's fun, eh?
I wouldn't say it was informative.
What did you want to know? Just hit me with some fast questions. I'll tell you all about them. Go.
The last thing I want to know is I want a score prediction for Tuesday night.
We win 3-0.
Okay. I didn't realise. Can I just say I didn't realise that was a side effect of COVID.
No, but I'll tell you exactly why. Because teams come to Agbra and they don't play. If you know what I mean. Teams come to Agbra to get a 0-0 or sneak a 1-0 or whatever. But Scunthorpe will come tomorrow night and they'll play, I hope. Yeah. Well, they'll get on the floor and they'll be like, oh, it's a carpet. It's a carpet. It's not a beach. It's brilliant. So honestly, I think, And then Andy Butler will be like, oh, I wish I hadn't said that. Oh, there you go. That's what I think will happen.
We are notoriously tight at the back. That's definitely at the post.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
But so are Harriers, and we got Carl Morrison at the back, who's amazing, and Wazza on the right wing. So the team, I can tell you the team right now if you want to know. Do you want to know? Are you going to tell Andy Butler?
Let me know. He listens religiously.
It'll be like pen and paper, write it down. So in goal will be your main man Dibbs. Right wing back will be Wazza. Left wing back will be Reece Devine. Centre backs, you'll have Caleb Richards, who was a left back, but he's now a centre back. You'll have not Cam Candler, because he'll probably play midfield. You'll have Reece McNally and possibly Cam Candler. I don't know. It depends who plays midfield. Midfield, you have Zach Brown in there. Zach Brown and I'm forgetting people now. It could be Digger Davis, to be honest.
Digger Dave.
He played for Birmingham, 300 appearances.
Why do I feel like you're having my pants down here, mate?
Well, there you go, pal. Just research him, man. Just all you got to do. And then up front, we'll have Maz Kuyar. His name is spelled ridiculous, but it's Maz Kuyar. Kuyar. He'll be up front with Hemo and Amari.
Amari? Yeah.
Yeah, and that'll be the team. I want you to text me and tell me Tuesday night, tomorrow night, when you get there and they read the teams out, how close I was to that.
Okay, I'll let you know. I'll let you know if Wazza and Digger Dave are playing, or whatever you said.
Digger Davis. Davis. Yes, man. He's a Birmingham hero. Absolutely.
Right. Thank you very much, Wes. Enjoyed that.
That's all right, pal. Listen, take it easy.
Well, that's it for this week's podcast. Thank you once again for listening to the Iron Hour podcast. If you are listening to this on your way down to Kidderminster, let's hope we get the 3 points up the iron.